Welcome back to many of you. Most of you I see actually on the list, so that is wonderful. And very welcome. The next session that we go into is related to membership, a fundamental one these days. And I come again a bit back to what Margaret from FIDI was saying. What's the value proposition? Why do we do what we do? It all relates to membership. The reason we exist is because of the members, to help and work with them, for them. So that is very kind. For that reason, we made that also a topic. And I'm pleased to say that we found someone who really knows that specific area very well. And I would like to hand it over to one of our BEAF partners, Gemmeke, from Visit Flanders, who will introduce the session and also introduce the speaker. Welcome, Gemmeke.
Thank you, Kai. Hello, everyone. It's great to see you all this morning. Welcome to all of you on behalf of the entire Visit Flanders team. I'm very glad to introduce you to the next session with Jeroen van Liempdame. He's director of the Association of Association Solutions with the MCI Group. I imagine that many of you online today know Jeroen from his involvement with associations, and most of you here will be familiar with MCI. Jeroen is an expert in the development and implementation of international and regional strategies and business planning for associations. For more than 15 years, Jeroen has been supporting associations in building sustainable business models and governance structures, helping association leaders rethink and retune their operations to remain relevant in the digital age. His theme this morning is related to membership, stating that members are like customers and wondering, are you associations ready for it? Well, let's get more into that. Welcome, Jeroen, and thank you again for joining us this morning. We are very much looking forward to getting your insights. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Gemmeke. Thank you for this nice introduction. I think that we start first with a quick Slido poll, Miguel, if I'm not mistaken. So could I kindly ask you to open the poll?
Here we go. Poll is open. I will once again put the link in the chat to make sure you have a quick link. And the first question we'd like to ask you is, has your association revisited its membership model? Apologies for the typo there. So quick little poll to make sure we get a feedback from you, the participants. You can see we have 15 people now participating. A bit of a mix here. We have a bit of a mix, but I would say no is coming out on top. So keep voting. Remember, you can click on that link that I put in the chat, or you can just scan that QR code with your phone. You can also go to slido.com and enter the hashtag BEAF. Jeroen, don't know if you want to comment on that at the moment or leave it till later. I know we have another poll, so just let me know.
Yeah, let's please do the next poll, please. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Let me just move over to the next poll. And next we have a different question for you. Does your association have customers or users who are not members but who participate in events or purchase other services? And again, we have 22 people voting already. We have a bit of a clear majority here for yes. So perhaps not surprising to you, Jeroen, but we'd love to hear your comments on that. Yes. And I'm sure you'll cover a lot of this in your session.
Yes, indeed. And thank you, Miguel. And the outcome of the poll was what I was expecting, that yes, we do have lots of relationships with people, organizations outside of our membership that are in one way or another connected or buy sometimes services from associations. So they spend their money on associations, but are not really a part of our community, and that's one of the things I would like to talk about. Thank you, Kai and Miguel, and thank you, Gemmeke, for the nice introduction. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning. And yes, today I'm given the opportunity to speak about something I think extremely important, which is membership. And as we all know, what makes our organization so special is the fact that we have members. So that sets us apart from other players in society and economy. But as you may have seen from the title, I'm going to speak about members, but also about customers. So when starting, I wanted to set the stage a bit about you know, the times we live in today, and of course, as Colm already referred to, you know, we've gone through a special year, and 2020 has in fact accelerated some ongoing trends that were already, you know, we already knew, and one of them, an important one, was digitization, but there were others as well. And so this has an impact on our organizations and on all of us as people, as citizens. So the way we live, the way we seek information, the way we purchase services, it's changing very rapidly. So it's not like we're going to live in a digital age. No, it's happening now. And so what I want to do in this session is to drill down deeper a bit in membership, you know, from the trends into deeper. What does it mean for our membership? Some of you may remember the book of Thomas Friedman, which was quite well famous at the time in 2005, which is not that long ago, when he declared that the world was flat. Well, the world has become flat, but the world has become now super connected and after and in this digital revolution, and that has an impact on the way we manage and our organizations, our associations, and the way we serve and involve our members. So really the question is, are you still in sync with your membership? Are you meeting their expectations? How have your members, how have the users of the content, for example, of your organization, how has that evolved in 2020, but probably already before 2020? Because if you think about the membership model that many of the associations still have, it's from before the digital era, and it hasn't changed so much in the last years. So that brought me to the statement that the customer is the new member. And of course, I know associations are not businesses, but there is something in the mindset of the business world that I think associations may need to adopt a little bit more, and that is to see our members as our customers. And because in the end, it boils down to keeping our members happy, satisfied, to deliver the connections, the content, the networking that they are seeking for. Otherwise, they will not stay involved and part of our community. So really then, how does this customer centricity work for membership models? So of course, I already referred to it. We live in the digital consumer age, and as I said, members are the customers of our associations. But in this digital consumer age, you know, our members and everybody, you and me, we are offered an abundance of products and services through multiple digital channels. And so what is really the primary reason that anyone, any member or any customer would be part of your community and would, let's say, so to say, spend money on your association? So what is the unique value that you bring, and how did your organization define the value of the membership package? And as we've just seen in the poll, that outside of your membership, other individuals and organizations also spend money on your organization. They buy your services. So these users, these customers, why are they not a member? And are you aware that you measure what perhaps the potential size of your community really is if you would count them in as well? So the question really is, members, customers, or community, what are we aiming for? So in the consumer age, people and organizations have, as I just said, have a huge choice. So choice and connection and instant service are really the words. And if you think about then that many associations have a large number of customers that are already willing to pay for certain services, for example, coming to an event or buying a publication or wanting to read your journal, or having access to your data and your statistics that you publish each year. So why would we not consider anyone then who engages with our associations and at any given level, in any capacity and at any price point, a member of the association, or at least part of the community? I think the critical point really is value, and that's another thing I think we can learn from the business community. Now, value is defined by the customer and not by the organization. And the mindset of any company, of course, is if your value is not super well expressed and put in the market, so to speak, you will go bankrupt. Well, I think for associations, this mindset, we should adopt this, because why would anyone, any member in the future, or any other organization, if you are a trade association, spend money on your association? Because there is so much choice and the expectations are so high. So this is a little list of key factors that define the value of membership, and it's dependent on multiple factors. It's, generations. We all know that the generation Y and Z have different expectations and ways of appreciating value and buying value than the baby boomers. It depends on cultural norms, buying power, who is paying for membership, or who is paying for anyone to go to a conference, for example. Competition, what are the other options that people have? The availability and the ease of access. How easy do we make it for people to connect, to involve, to engage, to contribute, or just to buy? So let's think about how value is defined, and let's then also think about what we currently have as membership. So our membership models often, we have packages. We have a bundle of services of value that we call membership, and that we allow people to buy. But we believe that now the rules of engagement have changed or must change. So in the new engagement model, it's important to allow people to choose their point of entry. So to buy, to engage, face-to-face or digital, but get involved in a way that they prefer and become part of your community. So you could see it a bit as a recruitment strategy, another perhaps business term, but from awareness to consideration to preference and purchasing, let's give the community that is out there and that probably will find your organization interesting for different services and value and content that it can bring. Let's give them a better opportunity and more opportunities, and let's make it easier for them to connect and to get involved and to get a relationship with our associations. So not just from zero to a membership bundle, but there is probably a lot in between. So I would then sort of call this, how do you go from a membership package to a member menu, perhaps, or to an engagement menu? And of course, we all know that our associations, we need members because we need them for expertise, to develop content, for revenues, not unimportantly, to perform advocacy, for leadership positions. But probably not every member or every person involved in your organization has the ambition to get deeply involved, or has the ambition to become part of the leadership one day, or have an active volunteer role. There are many people that just want to have access to some kind of content or some kind of networking, some kind of publication. So just as an example, practically speaking, what could this look like? So why would we not have, on top of the full membership, a Congress member, or a training member, or a standards member, or a special interest group member, or a networking member? And of course, at different price point levels, and perhaps the ultimate goal could still be to have people involved as a full member in the end. But we all know that not everybody is interested in the entire package and in the entire organization. But on the other hand, by letting people to get involved in your community and make them feel part of your community, communicate with them, start a relationship with them, you extend your community. And a final point that I'd like to underline today is technology. And because what we have seen and what we hear a lot, especially over the last year of the changes that happened in our world, is that it's all about technology, and technology is the solution. Well, technology is a very important enabler, but in itself, technology is not a solution. I was in the breakout room where we spoke about that, and it's of course still about us, about people, about our skills and how we build community. But platform and artificial intelligence technology can enable associations much better to segment, to manage, and to manage that and service at multiple levels, and really improve the way we service and we relate to our members and our wider community. And we've seen, of course, already that membership admin and community engagement software and now also the virtual event platforms have become mainstream very rapidly. But why would we limit platform subscription and engagement only to our virtual events? Why would we not move from an event platform to an association platform, and offer really 365 days, 24/7 access, service, and engagement? So to allow the choice for people and to connect with you and your organizations much better, much deeper, much more, and very importantly, in the time zone and in the manner that these members, these customers prefer to have a relationship with you. So really, the platform technology and artificial intelligence is really an enabler in this. And I've seen myself some examples of how some associations that I know have used artificial intelligence as part of their platform solutions to enhance the connections between the members and between their event attendees, and that works wonderfully well. I mean, we all we all know it from our Facebook accounts and our LinkedIn accounts, but why wouldn't we apply it also to our own organizations? So reach more people and make it easier for them to connect and interact. And really, I think if you, in that way, you can profit from a broader member and customer base. Because, for example, if your organization has 1,000 members, but you attract perhaps 3,000 people to your event every year, at least in the past, and there are probably many other people also buying from time to time a service or a publication, you may have a community of 10,000 people. So wouldn't it be better to hold them all into your community? So Miguel, before showing the questions, to move forward, we go to the breakout rooms. So I have already the questions on the screen now that I would love to discuss in the breakout with all of you.
Yep, perfect. So we are now moving into breakouts. I'm just building them in the background. We're doing something slightly different on these breakouts. I don't know if you want to go through these questions, maybe Jeroen, in a little bit of detail, maybe explain them, and I will add the link to the document in the chat and explain how that works afterwards. Okay.
So as you can all read the questions from the screen, I think it's very interesting for us to speak about and to think about customer centricity and how you have experienced customer centricity in your organization as important, and how it has let's say come to life, what you're doing with it, with customer centricity. And on that basis, have you already thought about adapting your membership model and the way you engage with your members based on the trends that we've all seen and the changing rules of engagement, so the customer in this digital age? And also, thirdly, then, have you been using already technology and what I call platform technology or even artificial intelligence to enhance your member and customer relations? And of course, perhaps in a virtual events, but perhaps also already have you thought about a little bit further about becoming a platform organization, that it becomes really the core of your operating model, so to speak. So these are the questions building up from what does customer centricity mean? Have you already thought about it in revising your rules of engagement in relation to your membership model, and then to enable it with technology?
So we had a very interesting group. We had Jeroen and Kai in our group, along with Susan and Esther. And we had, different views on associations and the kinds of things we could do. So I talked about when I set up and ran an association over 20 years ago in South Africa. My learning and my starting point was responsiveness to members' needs, but then I recognized the need to bring best practice in because we were a development association. So there was that balance. And then I talked about the IAF and our move. We started with benchmarking, but then what we recognized with a fellow association, how they really built up very extensive good reputation for themselves by actually consulting with the buyers of services. And so that's something that we have started to think about. And Jeroen came up with a great expression, which is my second takeaway from today, which is that the association can become a marketplace for the profession. And when you use an expression like that, it just opens up so many possibilities for synergies and for exchange. The other idea that came up was bringing lay people into the association, because, and then thinking of them as customers. And when you do that, it enables you to go broader. It enables you to promote the mission of the organization, and also to promote the reputation of the organization in terms of where and how we add value, not only in the fields in which we work, but in the broader world. And, once you start developing those kinds of alliances and synergies, your potential to have more influence, to create movements around areas of value becomes much stronger. It also, the key facet that it brings in is for people within the association to listen more and to listen more broadly. And that's a key facet in terms of change. Then we talked about breaking up our services, which was where Jeroen actually focused some of his presentation. But then there are different models which associations have tried out, models that they can try out, things like, creating what you get with your members, with your membership, what you pay for. In addition, whether it's professional development, whether it's coursework, whether it's, interaction through conferences with potential suppliers. But also, then you can balance out your services, you can expand the membership base, but very importantly, you need to keep coming back to acknowledging that every member is a part of this community and that every member matters. And then the other area that we came to was decentralizing services, and decentralizing, offers opportunities for the association, but it also becomes a platform. And this is, where different use of different types of platforms comes into play, because there's the use of technology platforms, but also the exchange that is potential amongst members across regions, and also within regions, members can showcase innovation and possibilities for business, and synergy start to grow out of some of those areas. And Kai, I didn't get to hear the platform you were actually talking about right at the end. So I'm going to just ask you to name the AI tool that you actually, we just reached the end of our group. So if you don't mind, Kai, please to add that. Thank you very much.
if you don't mind, I come back to it in after this breakout,
okay.
because I will now, hearing that some people are quite interested in it, I will share how we will use it and what it will do and why we chose it, actually. So I just want to make sure other people get the platform, but thank you for pointing that out. Yes, I mean, one interesting part is actually that we as associations, of course, think about membership, but one interesting part is also that many of the people that we work, or organizations that we work with, for example, the convention bureaus, are also membership type of organizations and also going through what we are going. So it might be interesting to hear someone from a convention bureau and see how that is changing, how your environment is changing, what you do for your members that is changing, etc. Anybody from a convention bureau? Or Heike from Hamburg, maybe?
I'm Heike Mahmoud from Hamburg, so I'm representing the Congress Center Hamburg. It's still under construction, but nevertheless, we are looking forward to open it this year, the second half of this year. Yeah, what we did so far, and I think we spoke a lot about communication platforms or community in our areas or in our fields. I think this is really, really important. In Hamburg, the Hamburg Convention Bureau, and we created really a platform for all the key players in Hamburg itself to share a lot of information. But what I realized as well, using these channels, you have to have somebody in your team, or maybe two people in your team, to really follow the content and bring it back to your organization. I think it's not really valuable if you are very, very busy on these channels, but you have not the connection to bring the content back. But we would like to develop our services and the connection to our peers or to our clients. I think this is really a learning curve, what we did the last months, to be better connected and even to have a better understanding about the needs of our clients and stakeholders.
What I learned overall and in my breakout group was the need for, let's say, adaptation to be more customer-centric, that was endorsed, so that was recognized as important. So, and the different models that you could apply, and as we talked about, involving different parts into your community that you've never involved before, as Sharda was referring to, and of course, in general, I think my takeaway is that the platform thinking is something that is becoming, let's say, coming to life, as also referring to Kai's intervention, speaking about tools, and because I think we're in a fantastic position now that the tools and availability of the tools is the least of our problem, because there's so almost everything is possible. But I think for associations, it is first and foremost important to decide, what is their objective? What do they want to achieve? How do they want to change? And build a strategy, and then decide on what kind of tools do I need, and can I use artificial intelligence algorithms to connect my community and to achieve the objectives I want to achieve as an organization. But I think it's in doing that, it's and that what I learned the last intervention also from Heike is to know more about the needs of your members, the needs of your stakeholders, the needs of your users, to really know those needs and those preferences, and then start building and thinking about the membership and the model and the tools. So it's all, voice of customer is super important. Yeah.
Perfect. If I may just ask a question, or maybe it's later.
No, please do.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jeroen. Very good presentation. I really liked it, and they took some new ideas. Now we are talking about listen to their needs, but the question is how we listen to them. So what are the ways? I might think about questionnaires. I might think about calling them. I might think about taking track of their participation to the events, which kind of events they are interested in. But if you have any other tips or ideas that could be good to not to overwhelm them with work, but to kind of do this service for them, with them, but without giving them a lot of work. I don't know if it is.
Well, you mentioned the three key pillars. Of course, and many of our organizations, we run surveys, but what I'm a strong believer in, and I do actually, that's a big part of my daily job, I do what I call voice of customer research. And basically, it is combining an online survey with interviews. So I do a lot of interviews and listen to people a lot. If you do online surveys, you have multiple choice. If you talk to people, you can listen how they sigh, how they breathe, how they vent their frustrations. So I think voice of customer interviews are extremely important. And let's not forget, if you are in the business, if you do events, virtual events, if you use platforms, you can collect a lot of data about your members or future members or other stakeholders that are already involved. So asking the right questions in collecting the right, let's say, data in your digital way of communicating with your for example, your event attendees. You know, as we hear now, you know, data is the new expo, and and we have such a huge opportunity to collect data through the current activities that we do, because we do them digitally. But on top of that, really talk to people and undertake an exercise, a voice of customer exercise, to go out and speak to and do it on a regular basis. That's what I see in my practice works the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeroen. And I think that concludes the session. I'd like to hand back over to Kai. Thank you very much for that and the great discussions. I think Kai has a few things to announce and a few things to share from the association's world perspective.
First of all, thank you very much, Jeroen, for sharing that professional expertise and helping us to get better in the engagement with the members and understanding that they are customers rather than anything else. So super helpful. Please stay on and join us for later. Again, thanks MCI, Jeroen especially, who came on this session quite spontaneously. So much appreciated, and thanks to you and the team.